Oh, I got a good one. My uncle is a super crazy cheapskate. He was at a highway rest stop in Germany. They have these fancy toilets where you have to insert 10 cents into a slot, upon which the door to the toilet stall opens. You do your business and leave. Now he thought, I'll save those 10 cents. He'd send his son in first, but then quickly slip into the stall when the son left. What he didn't anticipate though was that these toilets have an automatic self-cleaning mechanism, so he got treated to a full body shower. My dad just put Fabuloso in my sister's window washing fluid in her car after she mentioned that she needed to fill it up. She had washer fluid in her trunk. His logic was that he was saving her a buck, and he got mad that he wasted his cleaning supplies when she was ungrateful for it. I laughed so hard. My family's always been fairly well off, so stuff like this was never out of raw necessity. Growing up, my dad would get these ideas to do, usually fun family stuff, but end up ruining it or making it awkward with his thriftiness. One time, we all went out to eat, but sat at 2 different tables across the room from each other. My parents at one, me and my siblings at the other. We didn't even know what the plan was until he asked the hostess to seat us like that. Turns out he had a couple of coupons, but they were only good for tables under a certain number of guests. I remember slumping down in my chair as he tried to explain his plan to our confused server. Everyone was embarrassed, money seemingly more important than time with his family. What didn't help was how, even from across the room, he controlled what we ordered. I feel adventurous ordering anything other than water to this day. On the plus side, he's mellowed out over the years. I got a Twinkie with a candle instead of a birthday cake one year. I got a votive candle on top of a saltine with peanut butter on it. To be fair, it was a joke, and I got an iced in later. My dad does a lot of shit like this because it's effing hilarious. Last year his Christmas tree was a dead bit of tumbleweed that he stuck in an empty Corona bottle along with one of those colorful solar lights that you put in your yard. He put it on the floor and placed all our presents around it. He acted offended when we were like, "What in the F is this?" A few years ago he said we were going to have an egg hunt when my sister and I showed up at his house for Easter. We were like 22 and 23. So we were confused. Turned out he hid a few raw eggs in obvious spots because he wanted us to make him breakfast lol. My husband's mother is a lunch lady. For his 30th birthday he got a pair. My mother tried to convince ticket seller that I was 6 years old, actually 12, and my brother 12 years old, actually 19, to save $6 for a hop and hop off bus ticket. Needless to say, my mother did not get the reduced price. Especially because of the reason my brother was smoking a cigarette. I went mini golfing with my cousin, her husband, and her 3 kids. The cashier just thought I was 12 and asked, "So 2 adults, 4 kids, right?" There was a very small pause, and then my cousin replies, "That's right. I'm 25. My parents don't understand the invest a few more dollars for a much better quality product thing. So when I was in high school or just starting uni and they bought me clothing, it would be a $20 pair of jeans from JJ's that would last just a few weeks because of thunder thighs wearing them down as I wore them daily, and then we'd have to buy another pair. They'd buy one pair of $5 shoes from Kmart because they were the cheapest, but they were also the most uncomfortable, and, again, I'd wear them on a daily basis, so they wore down within a month, and we had to buy more. I'm in my early 20s now, and teaching myself the concept of bigger price tag is better quality. I bought myself a pair of Doc Martens in 2015, and my parents almost fell out of their chairs when I said they cost $180. Except I've worn them practically every single day since I bought them, whether to uni or work, hospitality, and they are still solid and in good shape. Best investment of my life, to be honest. Edit. Yes, I know. A bigger price tag doesn't always mean better quality. I mean this in terms of what I have talked about in this post. Good quality, comfortable shoes and clothing. Seriously, if my pair survives long enough, I'm probably gonna show my first pair of Docs to my kids and teach them just that. I posted this before and eventually had people telling me that I'll never have money because I'm not this crazy frugal. My grandmother found out that the late fee on her water bill was less than the cost of a stamp. For years and years she would skip every other water bill and just pay both bills at once. It wasn't that she didn't have the money, it was that once she found out about the slight difference her cheapness took over. I don't get this. Isn't she just wasting her money by not paying it? No, the late fee was less than the cost of the stamp she used to send the payment in. So by paying 2 bills every other month she was gaming the water company for literal pennies. My parents hated to spend $3 for a Hallmark card for birthdays, Valentine's Day, etc. So they would go to the store, pick out the card they would have bought, show it to the other spouse, and put it back on the shelf. My wife's dad will go to a diner, and instead of ordering dessert, eats all the jelly containers from the table. Just eats them with a spoon. I've been getting re-gifted presents for Christmas since I was a kid, and not like presents from other people that were then given to me. No. We are talking my favorite jacket goes missing for 6 months, only to be found under the tree as one of my presents. Just had my 30th birthday. Gifted a Swiss Army knife I had when I was a kid. This thread was tailor-made for me. My father is pathologically cheap. I have tons of stories, but I'll share the biggest. My dad only looks at dollar amount. Literally nothing else. If he sees a 6-pack of toilet paper for $5 and a 12-pack of toilet paper for $7, he'll buy the $5 pack every time, guaranteed. So you can already imagine how any major purchase goes with him. When I was about 8, he decided to buy a house. Back then, you could buy something relatively decent in my area for $110k. We are talking newer cabinets, newer floors, interior appointments like trim, newer doors and windows, etc. He ended up buying a piece of shit house for $89k. It had been built in 1947. The guy who built the place was just as cheap as my dad. All of the windows and doors were original. It still had its original asbestos siding. On the inside, there was no trim. No interior doors except the bathroom door, which itself had no knob. No kitchen cabinets or counters. The living room floor was bare plywood. The ground floor bedroom had linoleum haphazardly unrolled onto it. So essentially, he saved $21k when buying the house, but has had to put way more than that into it over the years. We'd pick the dump, go to the dump, root through the trash bags, dodging the bulldozer trying to bury the stuff. I can smell it sitting here typing. As you can imagine, eventually classmates saw that. School was not fun. When my boss's kids turned 14 he had the talk with them. He let them know he was responsible for food and basic clothes. Anything goes above that, he would buy, but they had to pay him back when they graduated college. When his kids graduated college, he gave each one a bill, every prom dress, any stylish clothes or money spent going out to eat with friends was meticulously detailed with date, cost and most of the receipts. When he told me about it, I thought it was a joke. The kids knew that was the deal and each one paid him back before they bought new cars or houses. He also taught them to put together a business case ROI if they wanted a new TV, exercise equipment or things shared by the family. The kids are brilliant, well-rounded and conservative with their money. They enjoy great vacations and have the freedom to do anything. The amount of discipline and commitment to stick with it and then give them the bill is amazing. Though interest didn't start until graduation, so he was pretty lenient by banking standards. I knew a guy in high school whose dad didn't want to waste gas on stopping. If he didn't have to, he had a minivan. So at the beginning of the day, he'd slow down near the school and the kid had to jump out of the sliding door. Then at the end of the day his dad would slow down near the school, open the sliding door, and he would have to run and jump in. Oh my god. This is so funny. Some of these are sad but this made me laugh. My father and I went to a college football game. After asking where our seats were, he replied, "Oh, I just figured we would go there and see if anyone is scalping their tickets. We can get them for cheap." Of course that's not the exact words, but we went to a game without tickets, just to save like $20 to $40, all while risking to not even get tickets. It worked though, so that was nice. My dad hoards his paper towels. To this day he still expects me to ask permission to use them. I'm 21. Because he doesn't want me wasting them. I remember growing up thinking, that it was $100 for a roll because he was so concerned about me wasting them. He is a cheapskate and spends twice as much money on everything because he only gets the cheapest thing that breaks or doesn't work as well. Side note, while my girlfriend and I were at his house, I dropped a gallon of milk and it went everywhere. She immediately grabbed paper towels and began using the whole roll to soak up the mess. I felt so sinful helping her, but the look on my dad's face when he found out we used a whole roll was priceless. I knew he wouldn't yell at us because he is too polite to yell in front of my girlfriend, but he was visibly holding back his pain, anger, and heartbreak over the wasted roll. Yeah, that size of spill is appropriate for a dirty bath towel. Paper towel has its place, but if you need a whole roll there's probably a better tool for the job. We tend to use it for getting the oil off fried food or cleaning the barbecue. Yeah, I think it was more of an act of rebellion. Something in me just wanted to use the paper towels. Toilet paper moderation. You can only use 2 squares. Now I use a ridiculous amount because I can. My dad once sent me a raccoon skull and an old hat that he got off a friend as a Christmas present. The skull still had some flesh on it. Well, at least never mind. I can't come up with any way to make that not weird as F.